Phil Hellmuth is looking down at ace-10 offsuit. Pre-flop begins with a strategic setup that perfectly illustrates the kicker trouble trap, which often defines high-stakes amateur versus pro dynamics.
The other hand.
Mr. Businessman.
The businessman.
Williams
The
folds.
businessman.
I love it. I love it. Let's go.
Locks out two.
Mr. Value Bet. You just look at me like a piggy bank.
The flop falls 3 diamonds, and it couldn't have been better for Perkins. Hellmuth, despite being the pre-flop aggressor, decides to check. This is a classic small ball move from Hellmuth. He realizes his ace is a good draw and wants to let the other players define themselves before he makes a move. The turn brings the 10, the absolute doom card for this specific hand configuration. Hellmuth has now improved to top pair, but the hierarchy is brutal. Hellmuth leads out for 6,000, finally betting for value and protection now that he has connected with the board. Fishman wisely folds his deuces. However,
Min raise.
Perkins decides to ramp up the aggression. He executes a min raise to 12,000. Perkins is finally starting to snap the trap on Hellmuth, who decides to make the sticky call. The river is the 4, a complete brick that changes nothing about the hand values. Hellmuth checks, adhering to his defensive posture after being raised on the turn. He is now purely in bluff catch mode. Perkins, having committed to his aggressive line, now faces a critical value sizing decision. He fires a curious bet of 6,000.
This is running so good.
Businessman is turning over queen-high flushes.
That's supreme donkey to you, sir.
I mean,
Woo, I was dodging that. I was dodging that ace. I dodged that ace of diamonds. Bullets were flying.
How did you flop 3 diamonds with the 2 in your hand, and then defend against 2 more diamonds coming out? How did
well,
you...
I mean, how lucky did I get? I'm check raising them all in on the flop. I did not flush draw, and it's the businessman, you know.
What business are you in, Mr. Businessman?
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at ace-6 offsuit. Pre-flop begins with a sequence that feels standard on the surface, but hints at the chaotic dynamic Hellmuth brings to the table.
You get any threes?
Phil opens to 2,000 with ace-6 offsuit, a hand that is technically an opener in this format, but creates massive reverse implied odds when deep stacked.
Thought you were done with that move.
No, I'm not done with this move. 2K's perfect.
Fishman, true to his name, plays passively by just flatting pocket tens, a hand that screams for a squeeze play here, and this invites Williams to come along with queen-jack offsuit. Williams has a hand that plays well multi-way, but by letting 3 players see a flop, the table has created a scenario where hand strengths will be muddy and Phil's aggression will likely overcompensate for his marginal holding.
Oh, you guys have fun.
Yep.
Joe and I will play pinochle over here.
The flop hits everyone just enough to be dangerous. Williams flops top pair. Fishman has an overpair to the 6 but is blocked by the jack, and Hellmuth finds bottom pair. Here is where the poker brat logic takes over. Instead of checking to the pre-flop caller or playing pot control with a weak pair, Phil leads out for 6,600. It is a protection bet gone wrong. He is trying to end the hand immediately, fearing overcards.
Dave, how much you got behind?
75,000.
75?
The LC's got Hellmuth, but he's a dog to Williams.
And you got me covered, right?
I think so.
I'm almost... Oh, I feel so strongly that I have you.
Right read on Phil.
So strong. I don't know what that Dave's doing behind me. What is he coming in with? Oh, man. It's gonna be my first really good or really bad play of the night that everybody gets to see.
When Fishman folds, Williams makes the disciplined call. David knows that Phil is capable of stabbing here with pure air or draws, and raising would only isolate him against better hands. By just calling, Williams keeps Hellmuth's bluffs alive, a textbook float with top pair. The turn comes the 8. changing nothing structurally, and Hellmuth decides to turn his hand into a polarizing sledgehammer. He fires 20,000, a massive overbet relative to his actual hand strength. This is where Phil gets himself into trouble. He is effectively turning a hand with showdown value into a bluff.
Starting to feel a little better about my decision.
Williams realizes he is likely ahead of everything except a random set of 3s or 8s, so he pays to see the river, confident that Phil is splashing around with a draw or a weaker made hand.
Phil shows, so does Dave.
I knew it was David that had to worry
Well,
about.
see that hand fling again.
I knew I had nothing to worry about with him.
By the way, that was a strong call, kid. So I gotta say, I'm folding that for
Beat
29.
that one guy. Got the f***ing calling station as a jack.
The calling station. You're not David. You're the calling station. The businessman, the calling
He's the
station.
guy that's going to give me 50,000 for no reason, Dave is. Plays every hand.
Dave, pick up your head because you've picked up your game. You're in Profitville.
I really like watching you guys make these high-level genius plays because someday I aspire to do them too, and I'm being this close.
That was 5 levels above me right there.
No. Actually, I never try to bluff David. I rarely do. But he's just a complete calling station. Dude, you're the biggest calling station at the table.
Joe Cata, look to your left. That's your future.
He would have folded the river. I know you would have folded the river because he called the 20 to see what you do on the river, right?
Yeah, I thought I had the best hand. I mean, that's why I'm frustrated. He's played every pot against me. How can he show up with a jack?
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at ace-king offsuit. Stern initiates the action from early position with pocket 5s. A classic speculative hand that thrives on set, mining or outplaying opponents on low, uncoordinated boards. He raises to 1,500. Hellmuth, sitting in middle position with ace-king offsuit, decides to exert his dominance. He executes a textbook 3-bet to 5,500. This is a definitive statement of strength. The flop falls a dry and paired texture that creates an immediate strategic stalemate. Hellmuth, despite being the pre-flop aggressor, checks his ace-king. This is a disciplined small ball move in a 3-way pot on a paired board. A continuation bet often only gets action from hands that have him crushed, like a queen or a pocket pair. Capella also checks his air. Stern, however, decides to take a stab at the pot. He leads out for 8,500. This lead into the 3-better is a probing move designed to define Hellmuth's range immediately. Hellmuth, sensing that Stern might be testing him with a smaller pair or a total airball, decides to make a sticky call. He is floating with ace-high, intending to gather more information on the turn. The turn brings the 6. Hellmuth checks for a second time, sticking to his defensive, investigative line. He is effectively playing check call mode, hoping to see a cheap showdown or waiting for Stern to show a sign of weakness. This is the pivotal moment for Stern. Holding pocket 5s, he currently has the best hand, but it is incredibly fragile. The river is the 7. Hellmuth checks for a third time. He has reached the end of the hand with ace-high, and his only hope of winning is a check-check showdown. Stern looks at his pair of 5s and has one last decision to make. He considers a value bet, but he realizes that Hellmuth is unlikely to call with a worse hand.
Stern checks,
Ace-king.
and Stern wins a pot of more than 34 grand.
Pretty good check there.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Damn son of a...
This is my favorite part.
He had a lot of outs there. Same.
I think you could have bluffed him too. I think
course
Danny's
I
gonna
could have
fold.
bluffed
If
him,
you bet
but-
the river, you're gonna fold, right, Donnie?
He called the river.
If you bet
for sure.
if you bet $2,200,
I would have raised.
he could have bet 2,200, I think.
Yeah.
You guys are never smart enough to raise the right amount.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
What the man?
That's just Phil's way of saying, nice hand.
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at ace-9 offsuit. Pre-flop. This is another hand that looks harmless on the surface but quietly lays the trap. Martinez opens with a perfectly reasonable raise with a suited connector that can smash a lot of boards. Hellmuth just flats, which already puts him in an awkward spot.
This is one of the best thing we have. Did you like it?
Minieri peels happy to set mine and play a small pair in position, and Perkins closes the action in the blinds, getting a big price.
Tweak.
Italy was the first place I went where I bought pizza by the kilogram. They weighed it, and they said, oh, you have like, 180, whatever.
The flop looks dry to Hellmuth, but is extremely live for the field. Perkins checks, and Martinez decides to check as well.
This is the fill lock check. No, this is
He's two-handed check.
sometimes he likes this. I like that little.
Controlling the pot with just 2 overcards and an open-ended straight. When the action gets to him, Hellmuth seizes the chance to bluff c-bet and fires 4,200. He has 2 overcards and some straight equity with the 9, and his bet folds out exactly the kind of weak holdings you expect from the blinds and from Minieri. That part works. Minieri and Perkins both get out of the way. Martinez, however, is never folding. His hand has a ton of equity against a single C betting range, and check calling keeps all of Hellmuth's bluffs and thin value hands alive while disguising his own draw. The turn is the disaster card for Hellmuth and the dream card for Martinez.
12,800. I'll take this one now. You fold. I win.
I know.
Against that range, Martinez is thrilled to call. He is ahead of all the bluffs and semi-bluffs, ahead of any 8x that decided to stab, and still has redraws even when Hellmuth happens to have a big hand. The river pairs the board with the 7. Having let Hellmuth drive the action on both flop and turn, Martinez finally leads for 15,500 into a big pot. It is a classic blocker-looking value bet designed to get paid by exactly the kind of overpairs and stubborn one-pair hands Hellmuth likes to hero call with. Hellmuth, though, goes one level too far. With ace-9, he has nothing but ace-high and a missed straight draw.
Raise it. 45,000.
And instead of giving up, he turns it into a bluff, raising to 60,500, trying to represent a monster, 7, or a slow-played set. The problem is that Martinez's line is far more consistent with a strong made hand than with a bluff. Martinez thinks it through.
Please don't have forceful.
What you got?
Huh?
What you got?
If this was your hand, how are you playing it? Comment it below and let's compare different ways to play this out.
You got force?
I might have forceful. I might not.
Okay, call.
Wow.
Good call. You win.
Oh my God, what is going on? What is going on?
Tilt
oh my
juice!
God.
Get the tilt juice out for
hammer.
everyone. Have
Thank
a
you.
little sip.
Crank it up.
I can't make that call.
So sick.
I can't make that call. No, I can't make that call.
No, he bet 15,000 with the 10.
I broke back, so you can raise and bluff.
I'm steaming now.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
got some. Me and you
I
on
know.
tilt.
Now I know. I mean, it's so brutal because now I know he's going to lose all his money to one of you guys, and I might go broke in the meantime. He put in 70,000 with top pair. I haven't seen that in a cash game in 2 years.
That was good though.
He was right, but I haven't seen that in 2 years.
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at pocket queens. Pre-flop, this is one of those classic big pair collision spots where the trap is sprung before a flop is even dealt. Hellmuth opens to 800 with completely standard and absolutely expecting to be ahead of most of the table.
I have the button. I shouldn't even look. I should just decide I'm gonna win. Oh, I don't have to decide I'm gonna win. I'm just gonna win.
Lock calls.
I'm just gonna win this one.
Lock flats, which already narrows him to a lot of medium strength hands and some traps.
I bet the pot.
Bill Perkins comes in with the pot.
Little pottage.
Pottage in the cottage.
Pottage.
In the cottage.
That sizing is fine. It isolates the opener, punishes Lock's call, and announces a very strong range.
How much do you have there anyway?
What is it?
Nothing.
You keep saying not much, and this is a 25K chip, kid.
Nothing. I don't know.
Hellmuth looks down at queens, sees Lock's dead money in the middle and the wide public perception that Perkins can be splashy, and decides to...
All right, I raise the pot too.
Hi-ya!
It is a sizing that does 2 things at once. It tries to shut Leak out, and it tests Perkins to see whether he really has it or is just leaning on position.
What are my choices?
Ship it, call, or fold.
I re-raise the pot.
All right, I'm all in. I'm all in.
It's all in. Okay. Aces or?
I got queens.
I have kings.
Holy cow.
I mean, let's just run it once, I guess.
Go.
I decided in advance I'm only going to run it once today.
You know what? Poker should get back to this one-time thing. It's so manly. It's like the West. We're going to go find gold and go into the West and run it one time.
6, 5, 8, all hearts. Turn, ace of diamonds. 10 of clubs, and Perkins is going to double up.
Nice hand.
Thank you. Ta-da! I finally won a hand. I had maximum tilt juice. It was like overdrive.
I mean, the businessman, you know, he shows up with kings when he has 43,000. Come on.
You know, and I almost...
So ridiculous what happens to me in this game.
Daniel Negreanu is about to play 6 deuce suited. Phil Hellmuth opens to 800 with king 10 offsuit, the kind of loose early raise he uses to test the waters and try to play pots post-flop. Negreanu immediately leans on it, re-raising to 3,600. With 6-2 suited, this is not about raw card strength. It is about punishing Phil's wide open, isolating the weakest range at the table, and taking the betting lead in position.
Who lost the last pot?
Doyle Brunson cold calls with pocket jacks, a classic trap that keeps worse hands in and avoids turning his medium-high pair into a bluff catcher against a 4-bet. Getting the price and curious to navigate post-flop, Phil comes along. That is a very Negreanu result. His pre-flop 3-bet range contains plenty of big queens, overpairs, and high card backdoors, so checking back keeps his range wide and ambiguous while realizing equity with his suited wheel trash. It also invites Phil to fire turns from out of position and forces Doyle to reveal how comfortable he is with jacks on a coordinated board. When Negreanu declines to c-bet, he preserves the option to attack later streets if either opponent betrays weakness with sizing or timing. The turn is the 4 of spades, a deceptively important card. It adds real backdoor flush pressure while also nudging straight grids like 3-6 into view. Phil leads 7,000 into about 19,000, a classic mid-sizing that tries to win the pot before the board becomes scarier. Against Daniel, that size usually reads as 1 pair or air rather than a queen or better that wants protection and volume. Daniel just calls. He is not chasing. He is keeping Phil's bluffs alive, protecting his own strong hands that would play this way, slow-played queens and some spade floats, and setting up maximum leverage on rivers that amp up the story. Doyle, now sandwiched in hating life with jacks, lets it go. The river is the 2 of spades, completing the backdoor spade flush and putting 4 to a wheel in the picture. It is a nightmare card for capped 1-pair holdings. Phil drops a 6,000 block bet, a telltale sizing that asks for a cheap showdown and implicitly admits he does not love his hand. Daniel pounces and raises to 46,000. What does he represent? From Phil's seat, it is coherent for Daniel to have exactly the hands his line preserved, 2 spades that checked flop multi-way, called the turn lead, and now raise for value, or a slow-played queen with a spade that upgrades from bluff catcher to thin value on a bet-blocked river.
Speech time. It's gotta come.
He might have like 6-9 offsuit. It's Daniel. Good bet.
And Phil lays it down.
Finally got there. Took a while, but
6-9.
I had you.
He nailed it. Look at that. That's sick. That's not gonna look good on TV.
Yeah, whatever that is, it's not gonna look good.
That's gonna be bad for a profile, unfortunately.
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at Jack 9 offsuit. Pre-flop begins with a strategic dynamic that sets a dangerous trap for the table's most famous personality. Hellmuth, the poker brat himself, initiates the action from middle position with Jack 9 offsuit. Opening such a speculative hand is a classic Hellmuth field play. He is looking to navigate post-flop streets rather than relying on raw card equity. The flop falls an absolute dream for Hellmuth. He has flopped top 2 pair, a monster in a multi-way pot. However, the action takes an unorthodox turn when Stern decides to lead out with a donk bet. This move is designed to confuse the aggressor and define the hand immediately. Stern is currently sitting with queen high, but he has an open-ended straight draw to make the nuts. Friedman wisely gets out of the way, but Hellmuth realizes he cannot play passively on such a coordinated board. He executes a powerful raise to 15,000, effectively charging any draws.
Wow. Nice hand.
The turn brings the 8, which is the single most catastrophic card in the deck for Hellmuth. It completes the straight for Stern. In a brilliant tactical reversal, Stern does not check to the razor, he leads out again for 25,000. This is a masterclass in psychological warfare. By leading out after the board gets scarier, Stern makes his hand look like a semi-bluff or a pair of jacks that is scared of the straight. Hellmuth is now in a strategic torture chamber. He still holds 2 pair, but he is staring at a straight on the board. The river is the 7, a card that puts even more straights on the board and makes the hierarchy even muddier. Stern, sensing that Hellmuth is in call-down mode, fires a final value bet of 35,000. He is asking Hellmuth to pay a significant tax to see the winner. Hellmuth enters a deep tank, visibly agonized by the board runout. He knows that any 10 or 5 beats him, yet his 2 pair feels too precious to release.
Is this for real? I mean, are these hands for real?
Phil's impression of David after dentist.
Wow. What can I beat? I mean, I guess I can beat Jack 8. All right.
Phil calls.
Ejector seat in 3, 2, 1, blast off.
I'm shocked he called. I didn't think he was gonna call.
These hands for real?
I don't know what you could have to call the raise and just fire. That was weird. I thought you were gonna lay that one down, brother.
Nice hand, buddy.
Nice hand, buddy. Where's my blow up?
Okay, I'll lead it off. You want to start?
I mean, what the f?
That's more like it.
Peeled an 8 off for me. Can't come up.
So?
So sick. You can't find a queen on the turn so that he can lose like 50,000 almost dead or... No.
Donnie raises.
Frickin' guy, just an 8. Put in 15,000 to draw to an open under. Finally decided to play a big hand with the nuts. And they hit their miracle there too.
I thought you said you had 10-8.
I didn't think you were that stupid to believe it, but maybe you are.
I mean, I didn't think you were stupid enough to call, but since we're making personal attacks already.
Yeah, another bad winner, huh?
Phil Hellmuth is looking down at pocket jacks.
I don't like giving away 30 balls with ace-9. It's not my style. Ugh. Not my style, Joe.
I can value you. I can value from you. King.
Preflop creates a dynamic where Phil Hellmuth's cautious nature inadvertently invites disaster. Jungleman opens to 1,200 with King 6 suited, a loose, creative open typical of his style. Mike X, holding Ace-10 offsuit, puts in a 3-bet to 3,800. Hellmuth, sitting with pocket jacks, finds himself in a tricky spot. Rather than 4-betting to isolate and define his hand strength, Phil decides to just smooth call. This passivity invites Jungleman to come along for the ride, creating a 3-way pot where jacks are vulnerable to overcards and multi-way action. The flop is a mixed bag. It is a disaster for Hellmuth, as the king hits Jungleman's range squarely. Jungleman has flopped top 2 pair kings and 6s. Mike X, the pre-flop aggressor, completely whiffs. The action checks to Mike X, who makes a standard continuation bet of 4,400. Hellmuth, now trapping himself, just calls with his underpair. He is stubborn, unwilling to believe the king hit anyone, but Jungleman is lying in wait. He check raises to 15,400. This is a massive power move. Mike X quickly folds his heir. Hellmuth, however, interprets this raise differently.
He's just
What in the world do you have, Jungle? Mickey. Do you have what?
My name is Mickey.
What do you have, Mickey? All right, let me just run it through my mind. Let's see, if I'm moving and I'm wrong, I'll probably just fucking quit. That's not much fun, is it? On the other hand, the Warriors are playing, so that's okay. You have a 6, Jungle Man. I was wrong against Nick. I'm not wrong too often. What the fuck? Mickey, what do you have, Mickey?
He looks at his stack of roughly 16,000 remaining and decides he is pot committed. Perhaps he puts Jungleman on a draw, or a smaller pair like 8s or 9s. in a move born of frustration and a refusal to be pushed around.
Fuck, I just don't believe you, Jungle. All right,
I just don't believe you. I just don't believe you, and unfortunately for Phil Hellmuth, he is drawing dead to 2 outs.
All right, 2 times. Ugh. Don't do me dirty now. I already trusted you.
What the fuck is going on here? What do you have? 10s?
No. Suited Broadway.
Only a jack will save Phil Hellmuth now. Otherwise, his second buy-in will be gone as well. And that is not a jack, my friends, 9 of diamonds.
Phil, you're a bro.
Fair, man. Fuck, this is not much fun. Where's my phone?